Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss very basic concepts in SQL, uh, like what is data, what is information, or what is database, what is database management system (DBMS), what is RDBMS, that is relational database management system, what is SQL, what is SSMS. Okay, all this, and we are also going to see all these things. Okay. Let's start with the data. What is data? A data is nothing but it's a factual or measured value. Factual or measured or recorded values. Okay, values can be any, it's a numbers or text or whatever. Okay, for example, if you are going in a way and you find out there are two apples are lying on a road, then you come to know that there are how many apples are there, that you will be knowing it, right? By looking at it, you can see how many are there. It could be three, four, five, whatever. It's just a number. I mean, it's a factual value. By looking at it, you will be finding. Now, by looking at it, you can also find the color of the color of those apples, right? That is either green or red or whatsoever. So these two are factual values. I mean, by looking at it, you are finding the that color and the how many number of apples are there, right? But you cannot find the weight of the apple, a weight of that particular apple, and you cannot find the tastiness of that particular apples, right? For example, if you want to find out the taste of those apples, it could be sweet, it could be hot, or it could be anything. I mean, until unless you go and eat those apples, you can't know, you can't even know, right? I mean, you are going to test it. I mean, you're going to measure it, right? And you're going to record it. I mean, you will be writing that this is the sweet or this is the hot. Like this, you are going to write the tastiness of that particular apple. I mean, these are called as measured values. It could be, I think this is a text. I mean, characters, right? Now, if you want to find out the weight of those apples, you can, uh, okay, you can't see uh, the weight of those particular apples, right? Until unless you go and test it. I mean, you go and try to measure that weight, then only you can find it could be 300 grams or 400 grams or whatever. I mean, this could be a number, right? And these two are measured values, and these two are recorded values, right? Now, these are called as data, just data. I mean, just three, four, five, red, green, and 400 gram, 300 gram, sweet and hot. All this comes under just data. Okay, understand what I'm saying? Just a data, that is. Now, what is the information? Information is anything that conveys the meaningful meaning to that particular data. I mean, for example, if you consider count of apples, how many are there? Three, four, five, whatsoever. I mean, any number. I mean, if you assign these values, I mean, these data to any particular variable that conveys the information, right? Count of apples is 3, 4, 5. You come to know how many apples are there. I mean, 3, 4, 5. This could be information, right? But other than that, like 3, just 4 or 5, it's not information, it's just data. Now we will find the tastiness of apples. What is that? It's a sweet, hot, or whatever. It is the information. I mean, it conveys the tastiness of apples, but only sweet, hot. It could not be the information. It could be just the data, right? Now, if you come to know, or I mean, if you assign anything, I mean, color of apples, red, or green, or weight of apples like 300 grams, weight of apples equal to 300 grams or 400 grams or anything. Okay, I mean, if you assign those data to a particular variable that conveys information. Now see, in olden days, if you're going in a way and you come to know there you are find your two apples in the way, then you started recording. I mean, you started recording all this value. Either that could be uh, recording means you are writing it, writing down on a paper. See, by looking at it, you're finding how many are there. I mean, number of apples. I mean, for example, I'm taking four. Next, color of apples, red, for example. Next, I mean, if you are going in a way and you come to know there are two apples are there and you're writing it, I mean, recording. Now, weight, it could be anything, 400 grams each. Next, taste, it could be anything, sweet. Okay, I'm taking as example. Now you recorded these values and again you started moving forward, and then in some way then you again found some apples. I mean, some bananas or whatever it could be. Now you started again rating number of apples equal to 5 and color of apples equal to green. Next, weight equal to, it could be 500 grams each. Next, tasty, it could be something different from sweet, like hot or whatever it could be. Now, if you're going again, moving forward, there would be some apples again. No, likewise, if you're going along the way, if you're come to know there are many apples are there. Now, whenever you are started recording them, each and every time you should be writing number of apples, color of apple, weight, taste, like this, right? Now, to avoid this tedious process or the complex, it will be taking too much of time to store all the records, right? I mean, all recorded values. So to do that, what we are doing will be saving all this data in a structured way. I mean, in the tabular format. I will discuss later. Okay. See, this is the olden days, how they are recording all these values. Okay. Now we'll come to database. What is database? A database is a storage of location where all data will be stored. It's just a storage location where all data would be stored. Okay. Now, what is database management system? It's a software tool that we use to store the data in databases. I mean, if you want to create a database, if you want to modify the database, if you want to store data in the databases, we will be using an application that is called as DBMS. I mean, this is the management system that we will use to create, modify, and updating our databases and their values. I mean, data in databases as well. Okay. Next, RDBMS. This is a database. This is also a database, but in database, I mean DBMS, only the data will be stored in a file formats. But in case of relational database, there could be having some relation between. I mean, the data will be stored in a tabular format, and the tabular format means it could be having rows and columns. I mean that there could be a relation between rows and columns. For example, if you find out, if you're going in a way and you find some apples, right, that we discussed earlier. Now let's see. if you come to know, there could be I mean apple ID. Okay, next, number of apples, numbers, I mean just number, color, and weight, and weight, and whatever another thing, taste, right? Now see, you if you find any number of apples, you just make it as order, I mean uh, uh, apple ID. Okay, just one, two, three, four, or five, whatsoever. But this is just the ID. I mean, you are just going in, not Apple ID, it's just the way ID. I mean, the position. You can consider it as a position ID. I mean, you are going in a flow, right? You're going in move forward. We are going in a forward direction, and just up to some distance, you'll be considering it as just notation. I mean, for reference. Now, at position one, you find out three apples. Next color, it could be red. Okay, next weight, it could be 100 grams each. Next taste, it could be sweet. Now you started again moving forward. Okay, now you started moving ahead. Then you come to know there are many more apples. I mean five. Now those colors could be green. Next, you've come to know that there is 200 grams each, and there is a heart. Now, likewise, if you can write like this, you will be saving a lot of time to save all these things, right? And also, it is a very easiest process to record all values. And recording these are called as records. I mean, you are going to recording the values. I mean, you are writing them. So we calling these rows as record, and there is a relationship between this, I mean numbers as a number of apples as 3, 5 at position 1, position 2. I mean individually if you call them as rows, these are just the values. Now if you combine with column, now you can define it as number of apples as 3, number of apples as 5, color of apple red, like this, right? Likewise, you can store all this data in a stable format. Okay, and that's where we use RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. It's just a tool that we stored all the data in the format of tables, and the table will be having a columns and rows. Okay, and what is SQL? SQL is a structured query language, which is the language which we use in RDBMS or DMS to communicate with the database. Okay, this is the programming or the database language that we use to communicate with database. Okay, that we used in RDBMS. Okay, next, this is a tool that we I mean SSMS, SQL Server Management Study. Okay, this is a application of database management system that we are going to use. Okay, in this we normally use SQL as the programming language to communicate with the databases. Okay, for example, there are many DBMS are there, like MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQLite. Okay, there are many are there. All are commonly used. SQL is the programming language to communicate with databases. I hope you are understanding this basic concept. In the next video, we are going to creating a databases and creating tables and all. We are going to do it. Okay, and thanks for watching.